wife died unexpectedly. That's how I discovered she was cheating. Part 5. Since moving to Santa Fe, I have changed careers. I am now working as a loan officer, which not surprisingly pays quite a bit better than being a teacher. I have a small one-bedroom apartment, and the child support wipes out a lot of my funds every month. I am pushing to get my case resolved quickly so that I can begin to rebuild my life. Hannah has taken the transition hard. She is only 8 years old and doesn't fully understand why we moved or why she can't see Flora's children. To her, they are her brother and sisters, but I have been trying to explain to her that they are not and never were. They were simply byproducts of her mother's lies. We are adjusting. I would like to put her into therapy, but that won't be possible until I clear up these legal matters. I'm only 40 years old now. I can still find someone to grow old with. I can still have more children of my own. It may take some time, but I'm not giving up on my life. I have a lot of good times ahead of me. I have been with my wonderful wife, Olga 57F, for the last 19 years. Technically, we are not married. I refuse to ever get married again. But we do refer to each other as husband and wife. We have 2 sons together, Kurt, 18M, and Lee, 15M. For the most part, the last 20 years of my life have been pretty good. I have a very committed and loving relationship with Olga. We met when I was at my lowest. My first wife had died suddenly, and in the aftermath of her passing, I learned that she was a pathological cheater. She had cheated with many people in my life, and 3 of her children were fathered by other men. However, she led me to believe that they were my children. As it turned out, only our youngest child, Hannah, was my biological child. Hannah lived with me until she was 18 years old and moved out when she went to college. She had some troubles during her adolescent years, which was to be expected after the damage that her mother caused her. She rebounded, though, and we have had a pretty solid relationship. Most of the friction we did have centered around the feelings she had for her half-siblings and grandparents. It took a long time to get her to understand. The last 10 to 12 years or so, though, have been good and largely devoid of any mention of the past. When I met Olga, it was like everything turned around. I won a number of legal battles that allowed me to move on from my past. These 2 events have been the catalyst that has allowed me to live to the fullest for the last 20 years. My family and I have visited every continent, except Antarctica. We love to travel and experience the world. My sons and I have a bond that I have always cherished. It began before they were even born. My wife, knowing the trauma of my past marriage, had them both paternity tested in utero, just to ease my mind. There is no chance they are someone else's. Hannah has been a good big sister to them. This leads me to my biggest issue in many years. Hannah and I have built a good relationship after the rough patch I mentioned above. When she graduated high school, she went to New Mexico State University in Las Cruces. She did very well and graduated after 4 years. She found a job there and has lived in Las Cruces since then. She still came home during breaks in college and for the whole summer. Since graduating, I get to see her about 4 times a year. I make 1 trip down a year, and she comes home on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Memorial Weekend. I'm saying all this to show that we do have a great relationship, and we're able to overcome all the chaos caused by her mother. Comment. Part 6. For 6th part.